Segment is brought to you by our friends over at Logan Agri-Service, and we have the Tri-State Farm Update today. Ed is in here and we're talking all about spring planting. Everybody's trying to make those cropping plans for 2020. What do they need to focus on?
Right now, Melissa, we need to be focusing on our spring fertility programs. That's going to be high on our to-do list for the month of February. And so today, let's talk about some of those important and essential ingredients that go into a fertility program. So as farmers are contemplating their yields, we need to start off with a soil test. All of our soil fertility recommendations are going to be based from a soil test and then the yield goal for that specific field. So for instance, a 200 bushel corn crop, provided that our soil test is in the optimal ranges for soil pH, for phosphorus and potassium levels, we can apply maintenance fertilizer. That's sometimes called removal fertilizer. We're going to apply what the crop is going to remove from the field in its grain. So for a 200 bushel corn crop, we need to apply about 160 pounds of 1846O. That's our phosphorus source. We call that DAP. And in terms of potassium, we need to apply about 80 pounds of 0060. That's our potash source. I always recommend, Melissa, that in corn production, we're going to apply 1 to 1.1 pounds of nitrogen. So that 200 bushel corn crop is going to require about 220 total pounds of nitrogen.
And I would assume that when you place all this on the field, you're going to see big benefits.
Oh, of course we'll see big benefits. Lots of return on investment from the soil fertility programs. And an important aspect of that nitrogen application, Melissa, even in the spring, is that we stabilize that nitrogen in some manner or another. The importance of that is to retain the nitrogen in its ammonium form so that it is more readily available to the plants when they're ready to use it. If we look at soybeans, 60 bushel soybeans is fairly common yield anymore. And so in soybeans, our maintenance fertilizer application is going to be about 100 pounds of 1846O for our phosphorus source. Soybeans, being a legume crop, take more potassium. So we need to be about 120 pounds of 0060 in soybean production. And one of the final pieces is sulfur. That's still an important part. In corn, I like 10 pounds of sulfur per 100 bushels, and in soybeans, 10 to 15 pounds per acre.
Lots of good tips here on KHQA this morning if you're waking up in the ag world. We'll be right back with more KHQA This Morning coming up.